Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of A Tale of the Dice. We are gathered here today to continue the adventures of our heroes, now known as the Pack. Once again, same name as the last campaign. However, what all of you might realize is that we are missing not one but two people. We are missing half of the entire party, because in Pathfinder, when you need to cut things in half and then get whole numbers, you always round down. So by missing two people, we are missing half of the party. So that sucks. Crystal and Ave are with us in spirit and in the chat. Ave is with us in the chat, I believe. And Crystal, I've not seen her just yet. So hopefully she will join us as well. But they cannot make it, however, due to some, bodily harm that has been done to them by certain travel expenses or illness. And therefore, they cannot be of entertainment value to you all. So with that, we will also need all y'all's help a little bit more to get the story on the road. Because with only 3 players, there will be a lot of space for our viewers to jump in, perhaps with some nice illusions or bonuses or wild magic surges that explode different kinds of burglars just running around in town. Who knows? Let's see how our heroes will survive this day. So, kind of a boys' club today. Do like a little bit of more variety in our Pathfinder streams, but the boys are back in town, I guess.
Boys are back in town.
Yeah. We're just exploding with testosterone here.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
talk about girls.
I can almost see
There's
the
so
chest
much
hair starting to
testosterone
grow.
here. At the end of the stream, we're all bald.
Let's hope not. Oh my god. And we are already being rated by Manapod Studios.
Woo.
Hi guys.
Thanks,
Welcome.
bros.
Beautiful time to jump in because we were just getting started with our very own episode of this new campaign. So right after our introduction, you will get a nice little summary of what is to be expected. So stick around for a couple of seconds and you can decide if this is just some random stupid stream or something that you would like to watch. So, without further ado then, shall we play a game?
And we're back.
So, jump back into our campaign. Last we left off, our heroes, now known as the Pack, had been contracted by the guards of this vast city that you now find yourselves in, Farwater, to go out and search for pretty much any information about a plague that has been infecting multiple citizens of this gigantic city. Throughout the city, different people are starting to hear a ringing in their ears and then slowly turning mad, inflicting both bodily harm on themselves and those around them. And also, whatever disease, magical or otherwise, this might be, it also seems to slowly turn the host's own body into crystalline forms. The guards, who have been trying to figure out where this disease comes from, or pretty much anything about this disease, have come up empty-handed, bringing the captain of the guard, Radley, to suspect there is some sort of foul intelligence at play, some sort of dark force that might be guiding this disease, as it might not really just be a simple occurrence. Because of this, all of you have been, contracted as mercenaries, so to speak, because he hopes that you, as newcomers to town, might not arouse the same suspicions as the local guards do. With this new assignment that all of you had, this newly formed group of adventurers, now going by the name of the Pack, set out into town to first and foremost get settled, and start your investigation of what might be happening and what might be done to stop it. Your first stop was at the Lake House, a large temple/tavern to the goddess of gambling, the open roads, travel, adventurers themselves, Avandra, where you met with the local tavern keep and high priest, so to speak. The high host was his title, Zorel, who could not only tell you a little bit about himself and the place that you all find yourselves in, but could also tell you about one individual that had succumbed to the ringing, as this disease is known. A bard who was trying to make it, by the name of Nissa, eventually didn't show up at the lake house anymore, and after a nondescript amount of time, eventually indeed became mad and succumbed to the ringing. Now her previously owned home is barred up by the local guards and left there for now. Although Zorel did give you a nice little pointer that adventurers such as yourself, who might not, color within the lines all that much, might find different ways inside said building. Next to that, after a night well spent in the lake house, resting up and venturing forth into the rest of town, all of you were now underway towards another place. The offices of the Cerulean Circle, a large guild of mages, where our very own Tarush is employed at, might also shed some light on the situation and could also help you with some other things. Therefore, the three of you have set out towards these offices, while the two characters that we need to miss today, Olam and Edge, are staying in the lake house, where Zorel can also point them towards their local library that this temple/tavern keeps. Because you see, as a library temple to Avandra, it also houses a gigantic storehouse of all the different stories that the different patrons and the like have brought into this place. So perhaps this place might also add some information for all of you. So, while they are very busy doing their own research in the lake house, the three of you have stepped out of the lake house, stepped onto the open streets as the morning cold of this deep, deep winter is setting in. You find yourselves at the entrance of the offices of the Cerulean Circle, a large cerulean spire, rising very, very high up, but only 30 feet in diameter. And as Tarush, with a smile on his face, already knowing what is about to happen, opens the door, all of you see that this powerful guild of mages does not need actual space, as the doors opens up into an interior that is far, far larger than the exterior spire would allude to. You step in and you are immediately greeted by a welcoming desk, with behind it a large plaque of granite that has been carved with the beautiful letters of the Cerulean Circle, as well as their insignia, their large circle with old draconic runes, the roots of arcane magics, all the different schools depicted on it as well. And as you gaze behind this welcoming desk, you can see that there are two main walkways that move further into the offices. One to the right that has a thin hallway with all different kinds of rooms, probably meeting rooms and who knows what lies beyond all of this. And to the left, it opens up into a wide space where all different kinds of clerks are set at desks, as if they were all making some sort of exam, with singular desks with just enough space to walk in between, where you can already see that there are 5 by 5, 6, maybe even further on downward, different clerks just writing, making notes, doing all the different kinds of business. Because as all of you might know, Farwater being the gigantic city, the offices here for the Cerulean Circle do not only operate for the city limits, but for the entire province as well. As you step forward, you are greeted, although not as warmly as you would probably like, as beyond the welcoming desk, a A very tall, slender, high elf woman is just straightening up a couple of papers, putting them together and putting them away as she gazes, already bored and annoyed by your presence. Can I help you? Her golden hair tight in a ponytail to the back, her robes that are simple but elegant of the cerulean color seems to be tightened at certain places by different belts that she has herself probably affixed to accentuate her natural physique a little bit more than the other clerks who just have the robes daintily hanging upon their person. As she gazes at all of you, you take a couple of steps in, and then, pack members, what would you like to do?
Tarush nods and looks over at the rest. Ready?
Yeah, whenever you are. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Very well. So Tarush steps forward, rest of the group in tow. Pleasure. I am Tarush Dunsilvis. I'm a seeker of the Cerulean Circle, recently assigned to the province. I wish access to our facilities, if possible, as well as I am also in need of the analysis of a magical object and perhaps an expert on the local crystal plague that has been going through the city. Do we have any such thing?
Tarush says all of this. I would like all of you to make a perception check to see, if you can make out anything of her reaction.
24.
24.
Natural 20, baby, for 24.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, no. For me, it will be a simple 11.
11.
Yep.
So, Jack, as you have come to this vast city from a simple rural existence to step into this bustling office of arcane might is perhaps a little bit overwhelming, and you also begin to gaze upward and realize that this entire office space is being illuminated by a network of globules of arcane light that seem to just apparate out of nowhere. And while this is happening, Crowan, Tarush, you have seen these sorts of magics long before, and you keep a close eye on the person that you need to talk to find your way through all of this bureaucracy. And as soon as Tarush names himself as a Dunsilvis, you can see that one eyebrow just raises slightly on the brow of this receptionist. And after that, she seems to switch tone a little bit. I see. Very well. Welcome, Seeker Dunsilvis. We were expecting you, as she begins to rummage through a different pile of papers and eventually finds what she is looking for. If you would like to sign in here, please. Thank you.
Absolutely. All of us, or just myself?
I do not believe that the rest of your party are employed with the Cerulean Circle, are they?
They are not.
Then you will do fine.
All right. I sign, and I look over at Jack for a moment. Though my recent companion has shown interest in our studies.
Yeah, I'm a wizard as well. And y'all are wizards, so I figured I could probably learn something of you. Well,
Go ahead and make a diplomacy check for me, Tosh.
Oh, sorry, that was not the name I was expecting. That's an 18.
18. I see. Well, as a Suker of the Cerulean Circle, you of course have your funds and different measurements at your disposal. I am sure that we can find some sort of arrangement to perhaps also let Jack into some of our facilities as a personal favor to you, of course.
It shall be remembered.
Very good. I am Lyra Ventworth, by the way. receptionist here at the Cerulean Circle for now. And I took the liberty to already appoint an analyst of the Cerulean Circle at your calls. He should be ready for you momentarily. You would just give me a moment. And she makes a couple of hand gestures, then seems to wait. He will be with us shortly. In the
Fair.
meantime, might I ask what a seeker of the capital is doing in Farwater, of all places?
I do not know if I am at liberty to state the full extent of my journey here, but for now, let us say that I am here to aid in the absolvance of this city's problem with the crystal plague. If you've heard of it,
I have, but it was under my. Forgive me, perhaps I have not the clearance to know of these sorts of affairs, but it was my understanding that the Cerulean Circle was keeping out of these affairs, at least for now, until proper funding was made apparent by the Empire.
Please, do not be afraid to overstep your bounds, Miss Layla.
Lyra Fenthra.
Apologies. There are many things on my mind. I must, well, I agree. And officially, we are not to be involved in a capacity as to, solve the plague entirely. However, the mission I was sent here with has some overlap with this plague, and as such, if I can help the fair residents of this city, then I might as well see what I can do, no?
I see. Very well, very well. Very noble of
He
you as
asked
well.
us those kind of preliminary research task force to be clear.
Very well. A wise decision from the Cerulean Circle and of you personally as well, if I might add. And at that moment, you can see that another person is just turning the corner as a young man steps forward. Lyra, you called for me. Ah, you must be Tarush.
A pleasure.
Very well. My name is Analyst Neil Hestus. I am appointed to your cause. For as long as you will be residing here in our fair city, I will be the one to speak with on any and all affairs containing the services of the Cerulean Circle. Lyra, thank you so much for your time for now. I will take over from here. Yes, quite well. If you would follow me, please.
Very well. So as we walk, I kind of lower my voice as we walk away. You disapprove of Lyra.
I do not at all. What gave you that impression?
Simply your dismissive tone towards her. She was obviously offended.
Let's speak in. Let's see, these chambers are free. A door opens up, and you are led into a small meeting room of sorts. Some bookshelves line both sides, most of them empty, but here and there are some nice little knickknacks. You can even see that on one shelf, a nice little metal holder holds within it a beautiful polished crystal that seems to have like a swirling cloud of sorts inside it. Those of you who are trained in Arcana, I think all three of you, go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
I know this one. I rolled a natural 20, coming out on 27.
Nice.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw.
7 plus 7 for 14. Oh, sorry, Vince.
I just have a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Tarush, you can't quite add 1 and 2 together. However, Jack Crowan, you have seen or at least heard of these things before. For high-level wizards, for very powerful magicians, they are able to cast their gaze to far, far away places by magic known as scrying. and for that they need some sort of focus to use, and this seems to be one of these focuses. Um, that thing is probably worth multiple hundred gold pieces, and is just sitting here in a simple office space room, as like you and I might find a discarded laptop somewhere.
May I ask, is this only sending or also receiving? As in, could this also be used like a nanny cam,
Well, what you
to name it?
well, the magic of scrying is only for you to gaze at distant places. So that's
Okay.
about it. And it is not that this object itself can do all sort of those things, but it is used as a focus. So a magician needs a scrying focus, such as this crystal that you see right here, to be able to cast those spells. But still, these reagents are very expensive, and you just find it somewhere here to accentuate even more that you are in a, well, high level place. Ooh. And Amunra, thank you so much for your subscription. Yay.
Right.
Welcome. So, as all of you are seated here, you can get a little bit of a better look at Lord Hestus, the analyst. You can see that he is wearing a nice set of glasses, short brown hair, probably somewhere in his early to mid 20s, human. But still, even though he is a wizard, you can see that he fills up his robes quite nicely. He hits the gym to keep himself in somewhat of a nice physique. And as he sits at the table together with all of you, he now addresses the question that you asked earlier, Tarush. To speak of Lyra, it is not so that I am dismissive of her. It is just that she is a receptionist, and, well, I do not like to say that she oversteps her bounds, but she is not really happy with her current predicament. She hopes to enter into, well, perhaps one or your or mine professions at some point, to become a seeker, an analyst, a researcher, whatever, well, brings her further than just a simple receptionist job. But for now, those things aren't in the stars for her, it seems. Now, enough about her. You came to me with a very specific set of questions, I believe, as well as perhaps some services that this Druidian Circle might offer.
Yes.
How might this analyst help you?
We have multiple questions. So I also have Crow in here, by the way. I do, right?
Yeah. All of you are here.
Right. Of course, he just also made a check. First off, we obtained an item, and I put down the Omni skill, it was called, on the desk or the table, as well as from my inside pocket, I grabbed the symbol that Jack ripped out of the journal, the Mad Crystal Wizard's journal. And I look over at him. We are aware that this symbol is representative of ancient magic, dangerous magic. But it is also linked to the crystal plague currently ravaging the city, or showing early signs of a pandemic. The Omni skill, as this is called, we got off of him, and we wish to make sure it is not cursed before we make use of it. He was quite mad, driven absolutely insane by the magics he used. He was perhaps infected with the plague. My journey here has brought us into contact with it, and I believe that my assignment is perhaps linked to it.
I see. Well, it's not my place to question your duties, but I can still offer my services to check if this item is in any way dangerous is easily done. If you would allow me a moment. And as he stands up from his seat, he begins to twirl his hands in the air, and everywhere where his fingers pass a certain point, you can see almost a glistening ring as he is just carving arcane runes into the sky itself in colors of purple, silver, and blue. And eventually, as the incantation completes, he goes, Voresting by. And the entire Omni scale, the necklace with this crystalline dragon scale, lights up for a moment and then slowly dims as he focuses. Well, I can gladly say that this item is, as far as I am concerned, completely without curses or harmful effects. Whatever this plague might be, it seems that the scale is not directly a part of its transmission. So,
Excellent. Tarush looks down at his breastplate, which has these two large dragons opposite each other. He looks at the scale, the dragon scale, and he then pushes it over to Jack. Seems we both have a little bit of dragon adornment now.
That sounds pretty cool.
do you?
Yeah, I put it on.
I'm kind of scared that you're asking, like, just to make sure. Are you sure? Are you sure you want to put it on?
Well, I do.
Everything explodes.
I do keep eye contact with you. I'm like,
Yeah.
it is.
Right.
It's cool, right? It's.
It's
By
Yeah,
all
okay.
means.
Is
By all
it
means.
cool? Okay.
As
And then
a
I
seeker of the
put it on.
Cerulean Circle, your job might be perilous at some points. It is good that you have gathered allies to aid you in whatever endeavor this might be, and different magical artifacts that can be found on the way might aid you in all these sorts of endeavors as well. As you put it on, Jack, the scale itself begins to shimmer with all different kinds of colors for a moment, and you can almost feel it like reach out to your mind, trying to find like pockets of opening where it might instill you with a little bit of knowledge. So the scale right now, as it is a magical artifact, is trying to teach you a new cantrip. So what you can do is you can look up all different cantrips that you might learn, and basically just choose one, and that one will be inscribed on the scale. Do realize that once you have chosen it, you cannot change it later.
Yeah.
So you might want to think about it a little bit before you just choose one. But as you are attuning to the scale, it is trying to find like a piece of magical info that it can teach you. Yeah. All right.
Well, Jack's attuning to the scale. Cronin does have a question to ask. Sorry, I forgot his name.
Neil Hestus, at your
Neil
disposal.
Neil.
By proxy.
I was wondering, how goes the negotiations with the Empire to solve this problem? I have understood that there was ongoing talk about helping only if the price is right.
Yes. It seems that the ringing, this plague that has been befallen the city, is just, well, not large enough to be of a nuisance to anybody. A few dozen dead seemingly don't inspire much action anymore these days. Farwater itself and the Silver Sentinels, the forces of law here, have been combating different fleets of pirates for a, well, long time now, and they are just spread too thin. The waters are more important, as these are the most used trade routes, and if those dry up, funding to the Silver Sentinels themselves also dries up. Therefore, we have made clear as a Cerulean Circle that this plague might also be a point of interest to us, and we could be hired as an organization to delve into this a little bit deeper. But up until now, I have not learned of any of these negotiations being really fruitful. Although I must add, now that Yurtahush are set to investigate this, perhaps I am not aware of these negotiations turning a little bit better.
Well, I am a seeker, so it is my job to find, as my colleague so eloquently put it, preliminary information. Perhaps upon a strongly worded report, other decisions might be made.
Well, and then again, if you might come upon some form of information, some research that might be beneficial to the Cerulean Circle, you must know that these sorts of, well, acts will be rewarded.
I assume so.
There's a certain. He now points himself towards your other two companions. There's a certain amount of freedom given the work of a seeker, and given the right attitude, the right bravado, so to speak, they are able to rise to the ranks quite quickly. But enough of ranks. There was still another question, though, you would like to ask me about, and now he points towards the piece of paper on the table, a certain sigil.
Yes. I
See
believe
it.
this shows how to cast a spell to some of these sorts of crystals. Crystals linked to the ringing, you called it. Is that what they call it? The ringing?
It's what the locals indeed call it, the ringing, which turns to one of the larger symptoms, now known as calcification, where the flesh itself turns into crystalline form.
Interesting. Very well. Yes, it is linked to the ringing. Yes, go ahead. I would not recommend casting it. We ourselves have been abstaining from it.
Believe me, my curiosity has more than once gotten the best of me, and I have learned from my mistakes. Intricate arcane sigils. Old, pre-draconic text. Aquan and undercommon tones. Perhaps even... Well, at least what I, with my personal knowledge, can glean of this is that it is a old spell. Not from any humanoid race that we know, where all of our magics are rooted deeply in the draconic lexicon. This seems to gleam a little bit from undercommon and aquan.
Undercommon, I'm aware of. Aquan?
Yes, the legends really only exist of vast, terrifying underwater civilizations that seemed to rule primordial times. There are still remnants here and there from these supposedly civilizations. This might be a relic from such a time, which begs the question, how did people come into possession of this knowledge?
I have a working theory. Several. Well, hypotheses, I should say. Either way, before we get to that, how would you recommend we delve into this magic? A controlled situation. Perhaps we summon some of the crystals, we study them.
He really needs to think about this while Wouter chews his candy.
I perhaps would like to try it out. Perhaps with Jack. Perhaps with someone stronger to supervise. Someone more powerful. But someone knowledgeable, such as yourself. You could do the main casting while we support. And we would do so in a controlled area. Perhaps some kind of test animal. And I look over at Jack. A rat, perhaps?
I look over at Jesse on my shoulder and I just say, well, I can conjure up any rat anytime, anywhere, whenever you want. So, yeah, I can always conjure a rat.
Well, to be quite frank, we have people for that. Here within the Cerulean Circle, we also have a branch of researchers that would very much like to take a better look at this and would like to come up with perhaps a more comprehensive view of what this here spell actually entails, without the need of some rigorous experimentation. If you would allow the Cerulean Circle to have this, of course.
That would be a more dull way of finding out, but probably for the best.
In the meantime, my humble opinion would be to find out more. This is but one spell which can find its roots in very, very varied places. If you would really want to figure out what all of this has its root, you will need more clues and more information first.
Of course.
The
Farouche.
Seeker's work is not done yet.
Could I possibly have a moment of your time to speak alone with you two?
With us.
Are you asking Neil or are you asking your companions?
Terrace and Jack, yeah, it's you.
Yeah.
Very well. Neil, friend, how about you take a minute to transcribe a copy of this sigil while my companions and I discuss other matters. Would that
Very
be
well.
acceptable?
Of course, I understand that discretion is important in many of these assignments.
Yes. Do not immediately hand off your copy just yet, if that is okay. I do not wish to prematurely splooge the investigation onto some over-eager bureaucrat's ambition.
Very well. Be free to step outside in the hallway for a moment.
Well,
And he begins to transcribe the spell that you have brought him. All of you step outside, and after Crowan takes a good look around to make sure that nobody else is close or watching, you are left to your own devices.
A thought that's crossed my mind. We know for almost certain this is a magical plague. It has a magical origin. It has also deeply rooted itself in the city and probably in the waters. I'm thinking, is it possible, no offense to your organization, but it's possible that someone from inside is afflicting this plague. If I were a magician and I wanted to inflict a magical plague on a city, the Syrian Circle would be the ideal place to start my research.
I get your point.
I'm thinking what we should do, we should try and see if we can get reports from most relevant researchers on the subject, if any suspicious activities can be found in the reports or this research matter, to be frank.
Well, as a seeker, I enjoy special privileges.
Yes.
But I can promise you that everything that happens within this spire is very much controlled, double checked. Well, no, apologies, quadruple checked, and tenaciously overanalyzed. I do think we should be suspicious, but if someone of the Cerulean Circle is the origin of this plague, I do not suspect it would be from within this building. However,
Maybe a discredited wizard, maybe?
I like the way you think. Yes. Perhaps we ask for a list of those expelled or disappeared recently. Would that make sense?
I think
What do you
it's a
think,
good
Jack?
place to start. Yeah.
Excellent.
It's not.
Right. What do you think? Shall I give him permission to research the sigil further? Do we want to keep this close to our chest for now?
I personally think that it would be safe here at the Cerulean Circle, so I would say that they would be able to research the sigil further. Yeah.
If you believe in the bureaucracy of this building, I think it's safe to keep it there.
I hate the bureaucracy, but its rigidness has its function. Very well. Let's give it a try. leap of faith? Very well. If that was all, Crowley,
That was all.
then I say we go back and speak with our friend, our not-so-young Neil. And we go back inside, I guess?
Yeah.
As the door opens back up, you can see now that Neil is just getting the final touches right, making sure that no detail is being spared, but right now he is just bettering the already well-transcribed version of the spell. As the door opens and his attention is drawn to all of you, and he says, "Well then, welcome back. Anything else that I can help you with after your conversation?"
Yes. First off, we have, as a group, decided that we would like, for the sigil to be researched here.
Very well.
So, can I, make a little general perception check about this dude? Like, get a bit of a sense. Do I trust him? Has he been forthcoming so far? Is that something I could do?
I mean, you can make a general perception check on to see how if he is trying to deceive you in any way up until
Yeah. What does my intuition tell me? It tells me very little. That's a 6 + 4 for 10. Total
10?
trust.
Up until now, he seems to be a somewhat forthcoming colleague. Like, oh, you and I work in the same company. We need to rely on each other. Firm handshake. Let's get to business. That sort of things.
I'll
But
take
other
it.
than that, no real big leaps of emotion that came from this guy that have given you any hint on what his own motivation might be. Up until now, he's been pretty much all pleasant business.
All right. So, what was his name again? Drone number. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Neil Hestus.
All right. Mr. Hestus. Mister? Yes. Feel free to research it. However, I do request desperately your utmost discretion. Make sure you ask researchers that we know are to be trusted, are to be trusted. And we have a little suspicion, and we want to make absolutely sure that we are indeed 100% wrong. This is magical. Very powerful magic, ancient magic, alluring magic, if I might say so myself. Perhaps a powerful magic user, not in this spire, but from it, is somehow linked to it. I would not wish it to fall in the wrong hands, or in the hands of some overly ambitious researcher, or a receptionist who wishes to rise above her station as they abuse the power. Do you catch my drift? Am I making sense?
These are some pretty hefty suspicions that you carry within yourself, Tosh.
I am not from the city, and I must say I am not acquainted with the cerulean culture here, but intrigue and ambition are far too common in the cerulean circle that lies within our capital.
Go ahead and make a diplomacy check for me.
15 plus... That's 21.
21. Indeed. And I would suspect, with your behavior up until now, that you would also like me to not ask as many questions.
Oh, no, I believe you have proven your faith, your discretion, and your competence without any doubt.
Tell you what. I can indeed honor your request and make sure that some discreet people are set upon this research. However, that would of course require effort of me. Effort that in some point I might want to see repaid.
Oh, when I make a report of this, and my party and I are rewarded, you of course will see your due.
Or in some other way.
Very well. Of course. One more
Also,
thing.
without wanting to overimpose, we were wondering if you could supply us with a list of discredited researchers or denied researchers that might, well, actually, not just that might be of import, just any discredited or denied researchers since the beginning of the plague, or around at that time.
I'm
Would that
beginning
be
to catch your
possible?
drift more and more.
Perhaps
Hmm.
any Cerulean Circle casters that have recently disappeared or died as well.
Also,
I can see what I can find. You have to understand, though, that this is a large establishment. A lot of people come and go, get positioned to other locales, such as yourself. But
Absolutely.
perhaps we can find some that stick out a little bit more than others.
I reach into my pouch. 5 gold pieces to make sure this happens and to make sure that all the required paperwork is done by whoever you need it done by. Would that also help?
He puts his hand up. Coin will not be necessary this time, but I would like us to reach an understanding that this is a favor that I am doing to you personally. A favor that I would like to have repaid in some way, shape, or form. Eventually.
Of course.
Then we are in agreement. I will procure this list for you, see what can be found, see what other leads can be found in this inquiry, and then the research will be done while our seeker goes out investigating more leads. And let us see if we can't find some more information about this plague that gets the higher ups moving as well.
The dragon's wings will give you shade. Your favor shall be returned.
Spoken like a true silver dragon. Now then, you have made this dull day very less so. I have some work to do, and I believe that while the day is still young, you have some investigating to do, Seeker.
And seek I shall. We.
You will receive the list of these individuals somewhere later this day via telepathic message.
Very well. I'm surprised at your expediency. I appreciate the effort. Truly.
As I said, I'm here to help.
Crowan, Jack, anything I forgot?
I think our business with Neil is done.
Yeah, I
And-
think we're done here.
And our business with the chat is that we all are fed, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
If
Time to get cheesy in here.
No.
Oh, damn.
I don't know what I find worse, eating a whole kiwi or just a slice of cheese.
Yeah, enjoy that? I love that stuff. It's amazing.
Mm.
Cheese is great.
I do
you
love
should.
it, but I do quite like to pair it with, like said, a sandwich or something.
I'm Dutch. I'm willing to fight anyone that doesn't like cheese. Let's take this outside. No.
Crowing has,
this-
when they exit the office of Neil, or whatever room we were, there is old guard trick I still want to use. When asking for a list of people that might be suspect, it's also always a good idea to ask a second person the same list and see what they left out. Do you mind if I ask Lyra to provide me with such list?
Yes. Smart,
Yeah.
Crowan. Smart. I like it. Let us
Thank
do
you.
so.
Go ahead, for the sake of expediency, go ahead and make a diplomacy check for me real quick.
Me?
Can I try and aid him with promises of promotion and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I rolled a 20, so
Oh,
I'm gonna see if my dice isn't loaded because this is like way. This comes up way too often.
Oh, only a goody two shoes cop would be like, am I playing fair with all these crits?
Mm-hmm.
I would just be maniacally laughing.
That's 25 in total.
25, very nice. Then, as you make your way past the receptionist desk, you speak a word with Lyra together with Tarush, and indeed she says, well, of course, if a seeker and their companions request this, then I can put in some administrative work and see what I can find.
Much obliged.
And with that, after at least realizing that the magical item that you have at your disposal is not cursed or going to explode around your neck, as far as you know, all of you step out into the city streets once more.
As we step out of the streets, I turn to Tarush and I say, "Well, there's this one thing. I might be a very practical young man, but we just made a deal so that he can ask us for a favor later on. But that sounded kind of shady. Like I don't know what it's gonna be, when it's gonna be. Yeah. How does that work?"
A good question. And one we shall resolve when the time comes. If the favor is too much, then we will simply not grant it.
Stab him.
Yes? But
Okay.
either way, if it is reasonable, then I see no reason not to help him out. It is not shady. I prefer to call it politics.
Not corruption when it's lobbying. Anyhow, as you step outside onto the city streets once again, the hard stone cobbles underneath your feet, the cold wind is the first thing that hits you once again. You can see the plasterwork buildings rise up to 3 stories as the complete city is built very, very close together. You can already hear from the harbors the different sounds of fishermen and tradesmen offloading and loading different ships, the different nearby squares with markets are already peddling their wares. The sun is now well up and about. You can see that this is a very clear day, which makes it even more cold than normal. But as you step outside, the day is once again yours.
How
Oh,
far are we
Charlie?
from Nissa's house?
Well, Charlie had his hands up. I don't know
Well,
what's
Oh,
going
I
on.
couldn't see
oh,
it.
fair. Not just a short statement. No, I coming back on my previous remark. I absolutely absolve anyone with lactose intolerance, or as someone in chat so beautifully puts it, if you end up playing Moonlight Sonata with your sphincter after eating cheese, I absolve you of your crime of hating cheese. It's.
Well, it's not that you hate cheese. It's that you're not allowed to love cheese by your heritage, basically.
I think the way is like you don't have a problem with cheese, but your body
Cheese has a
has
problem with
yeah.
you. All right, so to jump back into Farwater, to answer your question, Crowan, picking up the piece of paper where the address was scribbled upon, it seems to be a building that is on the outskirts of the core town district. So still like the old town, completely barred off piece of the city, but then on the very, very outskirts of it. And knowing a little bit of how these large cities work, it's probably not going to be the best living space, but it's close to where the action is. It'll probably take you half an hour walking to get there. Nothing too shabby.
shall we?
Yeah, I agree. It sounds like a very logical place to continue.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So Nissa was the bard wannabe that had succumbed to this disease, and where you still knew the location of. So after about 30 minutes walking, crossing beautiful different marketplaces, bustling townships, and now that you have taken a couple of walks through the city, you once again begin to realize how um, present the water is at every time. You can always smell like the salty air from the ocean itself, but throughout the city, there is a gigantic sewer system that always is flushing through salt and fresh water from the river to make sure that all the waste that this gigantic city produces is washed away into the ocean itself. And as that is the case, you can always hear at least a little bit of rushing water beneath your feet. And after every 10 to 15 feet, you will see somewhere out of the corner of your eye a roster where the sewer is allowed to breathe a little bit, or you will step right on it and see a somewhat steep stream of water just flowing past you. After half an hour of walking through this, you come upon what seems to be the place where Nissa had made a living, and you come upon a small street that eventually turns towards the very edge of the district, where the inner town wall is risen up, and as you look upward, you can actually see two lone sentries of the Silver Sentinels just walk slowly past above the wall. And here, as you take a couple of steps towards it, you see that this building is one of the buildings that are very pushed together. It seems to be 3 stories high, although only, I think, 30 feet in diameter and maybe 20 feet depth. And the one solitary door that it has a piece of paper plaqued over it, together with some other pieces of, well, basically police tape that the Silver Sentinels had put up here, with the text on it. Whatchamacallit? Fuck, can't find the word.
Do not enter.
Trespassers. No, trespassers will be prostituted. Wait, what? Yeah, somebody stripped it out, a couple of the letters, and they vandalized it to prostitute it. Probably some of the local children did that. But still, the plaque seems to be strewn over the door itself, as well as like the lock. So it seems that this place is still undisturbed up until now. You can see that on all the different floors there are small windows that are closed, but perhaps could be opened. So as you stand here, you take a look to your right and your left. You can see in the distance that a couple of people are walking past. But as this seems to be a dead end, as it ends at the very wall of the district, you seem to be in a pretty okay, non-seen state this early in the morning. Right now it would be like around 10-ish, maybe 11, after your time at the Cerulean Circle.
Does the house have a chimney?
You take a look up, and indeed, you can see that a small stone chimney is like reaching out, but it's not all the way at the top. It seems that what you figure probably like a stone stove is put on the ground floor, and from out the ground floor, like on the outside, there's a small chimney that points upward, although no
Okay.
smoke is emanating from it at this point.
Can I Santa Claus my way in?
I mean, you're not that thick, but still, it's a chimney. It's a chimney like approximately this like big, so you won't be able to fit through it on your own, I'm afraid.
He has a beard, though.
In that case, everybody knows that beards are very lubricating for chimneys, so...
Alright, okay, so the door is taped shut. Any windows? Any other openings?
Yep.
And is it like a freestanding house, or is it like taped in?
Yeah, it seems to be the last building in a row of different buildings. So it's like a corner house, so to speak.
Very
so
well.
to give you an idea, I will just draw it out a little bit.
I say we simply enter.
Can
Pretend.
Can I cast detect magic before we enter, just to see if I can see anything around the house, on the house that is magical?
Sure thing.
Smart.
To give you an idea, like this is pretty much how, I don't know if this is visible quite well. No idea. This is pretty much how it works. So you have like the wall with like different towers upon it, and then you have like this street, and it seems to be the very, very last.
And a little
building,
bit to the left, your left.
like this.
A bit more, okay. It looks like
I have no idea.
It's a
No
bit
idea.
phallic right now, but I'll take it.
Giggity. That's what she said. Let me just.
No, but I get it. Yeah. All right. So yeah, detect magic, I guess. And after that, I kind of suggest we just go inside and pretend we're supposed to be there.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
I fully expect the door to be locked, but sure.
Jack, you take a couple of steps forward, and your rat familiar Jesse walks forward and also puts out its small rat claws. And through Jesse, you cast detect magic. What is the range of detect magic? Like, how far inside does your pulse of detection go?
Let me have a quick look. Oh, there we go. I believe it should be something along the lines of 30 feet.
30 feet.
30 feet, yeah.
All right. In that case, you do indeed find a small blip of magical energy coming from, the second floor, which is like the first floor in Dutch, but like the one above the ground floor.
Cool. Okay, guys, it looks safe on the outside and mostly on the inside. On the second floor appears to be something magical. So keep an eye out when we go up the stairs.
Interesting. Excellent.
And I encourage, I think, Karoan to break open the door.
Yeah. First I check, of course, Cohen checks if the door is indeed locked.
And without a lot of effort, you do indeed find that the door is locked.
Okay. Then Cohen is gonna show off his newly purchased levered crowbar,
Oh,
and he's gonna do an open the door magic skill without magic.
Crone casts burglary.
I cast
Right.
fuck up the door. Yeah.
Yes.
Right, so
Door can't stop me.
okay, so I believe that to break open the door, that is an athletics check, but you will
Yeah.
have a bonus because you have a very fancy crowbar.
I think it was a +1, and if you don't have the crowbar, it's a -2 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm gonna use a hero point.
You do indeed.
17 first. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, I need to check my character sheet, sorry. Because my athletics is in a total of 7, so 25 in total.
25, and 25 is more than enough. The sentries that you saw walking on the top of the walls have just entered another tower house for a moment, at which moment you find yourself emboldened by their absence to quickly crack open the door. The old wood that has been here far, far too long without really being maintained in any way, shape, or form quickly gives way to the power of your crowbar, and with that, the door splinters a little bit, the lock, but opens wide, and all of you are presented with the interior. As all of you take a step inside, I would like all of you to go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Percepzione.
Perception.
7.
16.
16?
I also perceive at 16.
All right. As all of you step in, you can hear something upstairs. Boom, 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 boom. Creaking of wood, a couple of footfalls. And now you also take a look around to see what is in your immediate vicinity. You can indeed see the stove to your left, a table with some food that is slowly turning to rot away as the denizens of this place have left it. Um, you quickly realize that Nissa did not live here on her own. It mostly seems like a bachelor pad with you just entering into the living space. There's like a hearth on the back end with a nice red sofa, which has been weathered, probably found somewhere on the roadside and just like took in. You can see a small desk with books and papers, and you can also see that different pieces of paper are strewn about on the floor. And you can also smell the smell of, well, human refuse. And you can see different splatters of moisture, of water, dripped around the floor as well.
We're not here to fight. We're not here to harm you. We're here to help.
We are simply here to help. Oh, that air is
Oh,
putrid.
right. Sorry, I was very confused at what you were doing there. Nice, I like it. Oh, disgusting.
Do we hear the footsteps running away, or are they still staying put?
For now, you just heard a couple of footsteps upstairs, and other than that, silence.
I think we should go upstairs very slowly.
You're not in trouble. We just want to talk.
Response.
No response. Okay. Then Crow starts going up.
Okay,
See,
I
you can
follow
see
after
two
him.
different things. You can see two different things. You can see one staircase descending downward into probably some sort of basement, and you can indeed see a staircase upward, downward to your left, upward to your right.
I actually, before I follow, I block the door with a piece of furniture. Make
Alright.
sure it stays shut.
Just on the right side of the door, there stands a desk with books and papers also strewn about. And as all of you enter, you close the door behind you, and you just, without a lot of effort, shove the desk in front of the door.
I cast shield on myself, and I proceed as well to the upstairs.
Right. As you guys take a couple of steps upstairs, you can find that once again, the first thing that you see as you step up the stairs is another pile of books, all different kinds of prose. You don't really give it a lot of attention for now, unless you really want to dig in. But you can still see different papers strewn about. Although this room where you are in right now mostly just has 6 beds. Like a lot of people were staying in this one building. Beds are not too well kept, not really all that well, maintained. These were probably pretty poor people just all living together here. Although, as you take a couple of steps upstairs, on this second floor, you still don't see anyone. Although there is a staircase further upward as well.
I look to Jack and motion. Where's the magic?
I
Magic.
cast detect magic again.
The magic was in the pile of books. Somewhere in there should be a blip of magic. Although right now, you also see that there are a couple of blips of magic on the 3rd floor as well. Above you.
Okay.
Going to the
total-
first floor.
In total, there are. Let me just make sure. There's one where you are right now, and there are 2 of them upstairs.
Alright, so
Nice.
there's something magical in that pile of books over there, but there seems to be something magical above us as well.
Let's first talk
2
to
magical
whoever.
things.
Let's first talk to whoever is here before we mingle with the magical items.
All right.
I think that might be smart, yes.
I see
So-
no reason to linger just yet.
Okay. So, as all of you take a couple of steps forward once again to get to the top floor of this establishment, as you take, well, what is the marching order here? Who
I
goes
think
first? Who
me
goes second?
first because I am the junkiest. I think of us all.
The melee-oriented character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
Behind that, Tarush kind of trying to pretend he's not nervously breathing in this freaking horror house, but also he has a breastplate on, so I guess I'm the second beefiest guy right now.
And
And
Jack follows in suit.
Jack, who isn't actually wearing any armor, follows last.
Freaking
Keeps an eye
sandals,
out
even, right?
behind us.
So,
Well, they are very fashionable. Thank you very much.
Oh no, I wasn't.
as you take a step to the top floor, first what you see is that this living space once again has a lot of beds, 5 in total. There's a small table in the middle of the room with a couple of chairs strewn about, as well as some papers once again, but also some bottles and some vials. There's also a vanity desk on the way back where someone has apparently been scribbling some on some paper as well. But what catches the most of your attention is that as you take a step upward here, Crowan, you see on the far end 2 creatures, each of them grabbing a bag of sorts as they were, well, perhaps stowing away some loot that they found here. In their hands, these humanoids are holding these large crossbow contraptions. But as you look into their eyes, you don't see the gaze of a ape descendant, but of a fishman. As you see the scales covering their entire body, frills on both sides and on the top of their head, and they
Amazing, yes,
shoot.
combat!
and they shoot their crossbows at you. And that's where we will take a nice little break.
Cool.
Pick me up, baby.
As fishmen are attacking you.
Yes!
And they both seem to have a fierce attack. So, yay me.
They do, that's
Yeah.
hilarious. I actually have a friend who has an honest to God phobia of fish taking over the world or something like that, and I'm very happy I haven't convinced him to watch the stream.
or
Fish
read
are
HBO.
outnumbering us by a lot, so yeah, who knows?
So yeah, as you guys are investigating Nissa's home, it seems that you are not alone. So, in 15 minutes, just a little bit before 9:30, we will continue this adventure with beautiful combat. And don't you worry, Savage Combat Smurfs, the fierce attack will be coming through. Oh wait, we got 2 of them even. Yeah, one for each. One for each of these motherfuckers. Let's see how good we can fuck up our characters already. So, see you guys in a bit.
We'll
And
see
I'll
you
get
guys
ready.
soon.
Combat.
Da, ksh, da, 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 pff, da, da, da. And we're back.
Welcome. Musicals already playing, so let's jump right into the action. Because last we left off, our heroes, known as the Pack, were in the vast city of Farwater. And here they have been contracted to investigate a magical plague that has befallen on its citizens. To find out more about this plague, they eventually stumbled upon this very building. The building of Nissa No Name, a bard wannabe who lived here until she fell to said plague. So, our heroes stumbled upon this place trying to investigate what might have happened to her, to find out more about this disease and how perhaps it could be stopped. Only to find out that as soon as they entered the building, they heard footsteps from upstairs. Venturing forth onto the 2nd and then the 3rd floor, these beings could not elude them any longer, as they are now staring right into the face of these fishmen with these large crossbow contraptions in their hands, large bags over their shoulders of some sort of loot that they might have gathered here this day. They don't seem to be all that friendly. So, as we start this encounter, first off, I would like all of you to go ahead and make me a nature check to see if you can realize what the hell these creatures are.
I have no idea. 5.
That will not be enough indeed.
I might have an idea actually.
Same.
That would be a 22 for me.
22?
18.
18. Both of you indeed know what these creatures are. They're not all too uncommon. They are known simply as scum, because whatever they were long, long ago don't seem to ring any bells with them anymore. They are pretty much mindless aquatic fish people that live a lot along the shores, and that's about all that you know right now, because none of you had a real critical success. Tribalistic in nature, not really all that friendly or hostile normally, but it seems that these ones are, because at the very start of our initiative order, the artifact is here in place, as it wasn't carried by Edge anymore. Now it seems to be in the possession of Crowan, who didn't really remember putting the artifact on, but apparently he did. That's weird. So right now, the artifact, the fourth wall breaking item that lets our viewers interact with us, is starting to glow, and I believe that multiple things are going to happen, because as two globules of green light shoot from the artifact into the two scum that are standing on the other side of the room, their crossbow arms seem to be even more lethally aimed than they were before, as they both get a fierce attack from Savage Combat Smurfs. Thank you so much. However, Jack, you do also have a shield, increasing your AC by 5 for the next attack that comes your way, because Nideko also wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up. Alright, next to that, do realize that, none of you have hero points. No, wait, Tarush still has a hero point, I see. So let's see if that comes in handy next to my anti-lux that I still have to spend. But for this,
Nice.
we start, as the artifact has done its job, we turn to the first scum, and we can see that it is going to fire its crossbow with a +5. Go. Let's just name them appropriately as well. There we go. Now that you know what they are called. All right. So with that, as they were lying in wait, the first attack comes towards you, Crowan, for a total of that is still only going to be a 19 to hit.
It hits.
Alright, so due to the fierce attack, it seems that this first crossbow bolt jettisons outward and hits you for a total of 4 points of piercing damage as you come walking up the stairs, not really realizing what you're walking yourself into. You can almost dodge out of the way, but the arrow finds purchase into your shoulder, and you can now see that it isn't really an arrow per se. It more looks like a small harpoon. As the scum is quickly reloading its contraption with a second bolt, with a second action, and then taking aim once again to see if he can hit you once again, this time with a -5, which is going to be a 10 to hit.
Yeah.
So this time you can dart just out of the way around the staircase as it just finds purchase in the wood there.
Wouter, could you give the music a restart?
Oh, I can and I will. Let's see. Yeah, it's here now? Cool. Alright, so the scum has unleashed 2 of its harpoons. As we turn our attention to Tarush, you can just see, like, as you peer just with your head over the staircase, you can see these 2 fishmen seemingly very angry as one arrow bolt hits your friend in the shoulder and the next one just hits like 2 feet in front of you. The space is cramped, it's full of furniture, not really a nice free combat space. Nonetheless, the day is yours. What do you do?
So I'm just counting out squares, and I'm coming up short. So I will move a few squares, first through Crowan's space, and then around to the other side of the stairs, or the sideway. So Tarush just pushes past him as energy starts flowing through the through the crystal at the top of his staff, grasped by 2 silver dragons, and he then points it forward at the 2 monsters as he starts chanting in Draconic, and this bright, colorful spray, this rainbow whirlwind is unleashed on them, and they need to make a will saving throw.
Both of them?
Yes, it's a cone.
Ooh, very nice. And those will saves are... Let's see here. A 14 and a 13, respectively.
A 14 and a 13, so those are 2 normal fails, which means that they are stunned 1 and blinded 1, blinded for 1 round.
Blinded? Ooh.
And they are dazzled for 1 minute, which is all creatures and objects are now concealed from them.
Nice. Alright, so they have a very hard time hitting you, and they also lose one of their 3 actions for the next time
and
it comes around to them.
They're freaking blinded for 1 turn. That's a DC 10 check to do anything against us.
Damn.
Well,
Alright, so
if vision is their main thing, I don't actually know.
Up until now, it did seem indeed that their eyes, although they are like glazed over and fish-like, they did seem to use those to gaze in your general direction. And even more so, now that you have cast this spell and they are blinded in this flash of light, you can see that they both like they react very violently to this. They do not like being blinded whatsoever.
Nice.
Very nicely done.
So Tarush slams the staff down on the ground and screams, "They're blind! Go!" That was my turn.
Oh, Maxime, you are muted. We do not hear anything you are doing right now.
We do have a glowing artifact, I believe.
So, if that is your turn, Tarush, then at the end of your turn, the artifact, after dispersing a couple of globules of light, seems to be charged completely for a wild magic surge this time, as it begins to shake once again, and... let's see what goes on. Can you roll me a d20?
Oh, right, that's me. Where are we? Battle. And now I'm doing a thing. And I am apparently not doing a thing properly. Let's see. Why are you not showing up on the screen? Because it's behind everything. Let's try that one more time. Sorry.
4 in chats. 4 in chats. More fireballs! Let's see if we can blow it up again.
And I choose this one, and I choose the D20. Oh.
Yeah, fireballs or devils. Those are the 2 options that we have. Fireballs or devils.
Well, that would be very horrible.
I accidentally threw 4 of them.
Oh, Jesus.
Just the one.
Right again.
And
that's
then
a sort of 4 as well.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I'm like so incompetent. Wait, let me switch the screen. Whoop, and now everyone sees dice on the screen. And I'm gonna choose 1d20, 1d20, and throw. There we go. And that would be... Ooh, quite shy of a 4. Quite shy of a fireball. Thanks for your patience, everyone. 3.
A 3. All right. So in that case, I will need another die. Even will be the party. Odd will be our enemies, because
Alright.
once again, it seems that a lot of creatures are changing their forms.
Oh dear, again.
Should I roll?
We're having a polymorph. We're having a polymorph again. So everybody's getting polymorphed.
Should I throw it?
No, I'm rolling on the stream
Okay.
screen. That's a 17, so that's odd.
All right. So in that case, those fishmen, although they are still blinded, are no longer fishmen, as the pulse of energy emanates from the artifact, and in their blind rage, they also begin to turn into... Let's see here.
Fucking bears.
No, bears are too high level, I think. We can't make them into bears yet. But let's see if we can make them into something else.
Here, in the meantime, I will entertain our viewers with a few more dice. So let's.
Beautiful.
There we go. Here's some numbers. I'm actually figuring out how this works. I feel so proud of myself. All right.
Let's see here.
T-Rexes, let's go, the chat says.
Still also a little bit too high level for them.
Out.
Although perhaps I can do a T-Rex light. I can do a T-Rex light.
So that's like a
Velociraptor.
No. As the energy of these creatures seems to the energy of the artifact seems to turn their fish-like appendages into some sort of a salamander or reptilian visage, as their armor that they're wearing of like simple scale mail made out of the scales of fish, together with their weapons, just morph into two arms that all have these large suction cup fingers, as instead of two fish people, there now stand two fish-like geckos, as two giant geckos are now in their place. And that's what you will be fighting right now.
Hey,
Cool.
might as well.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have a nice little gecko mini for them, so I'm afraid that we will have to use the geckos that are in place right here. Sorry, the fish people. But they are now replaced by geckos. What is my job? As Tarush's turn has ended, and we turn our attention to Jack.
I hold the record for longest turn ever.
I will say, however, Jack, that I am going to use just one little glimpse of the artifact's effects, as we have another ghost image. So, as you are standing there on the staircase, thinking about what might be going on, you see from behind you, running up the staircase, another one of these fish people. As it seems that from below, another fish person has appeared as well, and is now giving chase to you.
I quickly cast Tanglefoot. I catch it. Yeah.
Very well. So you need to make a attack roll, I think.
Ooh, I rolled pretty okay. I rolled a that would be an 18.
An 18.
Yeah.
As you quickly cast your Tanglefoot from Jesse, your small little rat familiar, the Tanglefoot, like the ball of barbs and vines, begin to apparate, and you shoot it out with magical might as it passes through the illusion, and then just splatters on the far side of the wall. And you can almost see that, like, the poof of smoke that this illusion of a fish person has turns into a middle finger just as a second, and then dissipates again.
There must be another conjurer here. I
It
feel
seems to be the case.
See.
Although it's probably just the artifact.
So
Alright.
I used Tanglefoot already. Which
still have one action left.
means one action, yeah. Let me have a quick look what I'm gonna do. I am going to. Can I just move up? I'm still on the second floor. I want to go to the third floor.
You can
I'm gonna
indeed.
use that last action to slightly move up in the room.
Yeah, so you could basically like stand over here with a couple of steps,
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
sounds smart. Yeah.
and you indeed also figure out that it's very cramped as you are like pushed against the large backpack of Crowan, and Tarush is also needing his space to cast his magic spells.
Well,
Not
I'm
a really
very
good
happy
place.
to be cramped behind my human shield.
Alright, so with that being said, we turn our attention to the second scum, now turned gecko, as he... Let's see here. Do geckos have anything special? No, they don't have...
Died very well, I guess.
Well, they can climb very well indeed. So, the gecko is going to basically climb across the ceiling, like all the way towards you, Tarush, and is just going to try and figure out. So he's going to basically hang from the ceiling right over here, and then tries to make an attack against you. So he still has a fierce attack, although he does need to make a flat 10 check to even try and hit you because he is still blinded, even in his gecko form. So let's see if that works. That is a 4, so the attack fails completely as the gecko tries to whip at you with his tail, but instead it just whiffs over your head. You don't even have to dodge. He didn't really realize how tall you were.
So
or how
I'd say he keeps the fierce attack for when he
Oh.
does succeed.
attack. Yes, yeah, the fierce attack is being kept. But still, for this time, you're out of the woods. With that being said, Crowan. The
I'm
arrow.
gonna walk 3 squares down from what he is now, according to the map.
Okay. You can move your own
Oh yeah.
person,
Yeah,
by the way. You can also just like use the arrow keys to move yourself if you'd like. I can do it as well, but
Yeah, can you do it for me now? Because I haven't. Oh wait, I
of
can do it
course,
now.
sweetie, of course.
Ah,
So you
thanks,
take one-
bruh.
So
Yeah,
you make your way across this blind gecko.
Oh wait,
On the
I
ceiling?
missed. Yeah, and is it difficult terrain, or can I move just one more to the left?
Oh
To
yeah,
the right,
you
I
can
mean.
you can easily turn to the over there as
Okay.
well.
So that was my first action. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. Do I have an advantage from him being blinded?
Well, he is flat-footed, so his AC will be lowered because he doesn't really he isn't
Okay.
able to defend himself against your blows.
So
But
it
it'll be
also
a
means I
minor.
have to sneak attack, right?
Oh, you do have sneak attack. Yes, indeed.
Okay, so I'm just gonna smack him twice and hope I hit 2 times.
You have exterminated geckos before, and you know exactly where to hit him. And as this gecko is blinded, he can't really dodge out of the way. You can whack him right in the right place.
Does 18 hit for the first attack?
18 does hit, yes.
Okay, that is 2 plus. That is 9 damage in total.
9 points of damage. Whack! Right on like the spine, just after the head.
That's where it hurts. And the second one. That's an 14 minus 7, that's fine. There's 17. I'm attacking with the sap, by the way, so it's non-lethal damage. I'm not sure if it matters, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So does a 17 hit?
17 still hits, yeah.
Nice. That's a 14 damage.
14 points of damage.
Yeah.
And with that, with the second strike of your sap, the creature turns back into the scum what it was before. Still blinded, but you have whittled away all of the polymorphed hit points from this creature.
Okay, cool. That
So
was my
very
turn.
nicely done. He does not know what the hell is going on. For a moment, he was a blind gecko, and he thought, like, man, I really want to eat flies, even more so than normal. And now he turns back into a fish, and now he says, like, I only want to eat a normal, healthy amount of flies. This is weird. Oh, my crossbow is back. That's good. I still can see a thing. What the hell is my life? That was your turn.
Yeah.
And a good turn it was. As we move towards the artifact once again. And we can see that this time around, let's see, was there? Oh wait, the fierce attack was
That's
being
good.
dealt with,
Yeah.
and next to that, Crowan, you do have another hero point I see, but other than that,
Nothing new. No.
nothing of the artifact. It's keeping itself timid for now. So, with that out of the way, the scum now turned back into human is turned back into a fish person, is dazzled, which means. Just check. Dazzled condition. Objects are concealed. So yeah, so he needs to make a flat 5 check to see if he can do anything. Alright, so with the crossbow being its only real apparatus of combat, it now turns towards the piscine-like claws that it also has. So he just, after he got hit 2 times by your sap crow and turned back into his humanoid form, he just goes on a rampage and just goes like scratching in the nowhere. And he's just going to try and make 3 attacks against you. With flat 5 checks. The first one he makes. Second one he makes as well. The third one fails with a 4. So 2 attacks can actually be done by him. The first one is going to be a 19 to hit.
Hits.
And the second one is going to be 17 to hit.
That does not hit.
Ooh, nice. As one of the claws eventually finds purchase like somewhere on your chin and just like gives like this nice streak across your cheek. But other than that, no other claws find purchase. You do, however, take a total of... by the power of math, that is 5 points of piercing damage.
Damn.
But that is all
That's
that
more
it
than
can do for
crossbow.
them. Sorry?
Hurts more than crossbow.
Yeah,
Awesome.
now you can see that even though these are like tribal creatures, they are strong. You can see like the rippling muscle of their fish-like arms beneath them, and you can also feel like the force of those nails being pushed inside you. They have higher strength than you, I think. Like brute force is what these creatures seem to be.
Okay. That's
With that being
Punch.
said, Tarush, you still have a dazzled gecko hanging in front of you.
Perfect. All right, so yeah, I think what I'm first gonna do is electric arc them. So Tarush slams down the staff and utters a few more words as electricity first draws towards his hand from the crystal and then shoots forward at both of them.
Nice.
So they make a save, reflex.
And they are both wet. So I don't know if Electric Arc says anything on it specifically about it.
No, nothing. It's electricity damage.
In that case, I will give them a -1 on their saves, because they do seem to be very conductive as of this moment.
They deserve that. Oh, my dice are falling. Bye.
And those are respectively a 7 and a 13 on their reflex saves.
Ooh, that is one critical fail and one normal fail.
Oof. All right.
Here we go. That would be, a 4. So, that is 8 damage on the normal fail and 16 on the crit fail.
Oof. All right, and with that, the gecko is very heavily electrocuted just in front of you, and 8 points of damage go through to the other scum. Although it seems that the polymorphed gecko form still has a couple of hit points left, so it's still a gecko laid out in front of you, but still a nice hefty chunk of damage being dealt.
So Tarush screams, "Crowan, will you be alright?" And I again slam down the staff as a telekinetic shield appears in front of me for my last action.
And with that, you have casted shield. As Jack, you are now here in the fray. What do you do? You are muted.
I said I do very little. I do but one thing: turn on my microphone.
Hey. Very well.
I'm gonna cast a spell. It's the spell that you've probably heard of. I'm gonna summon an animal. Now I'm not gonna summon another rat because I've got a more fitting animal for you. So it's kind of a question if I summon it or it just comes out of a creep.
Shows
but
up.
A house cat arrives at the scene, and I want to place it in between the two now geckos. So just like
Alright.
one up, one to the right of Crowan.
Let me just get you a nice little house cat. Let's see here.
The one by Crowan is no longer a gecko. It's back to scum form.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So I think that one's most dangerous. Is that one? I don't imagine a gecko is dangerous.
Well, it's how polymorph worked is basically that we turn it into a creature that is the same level. So
Fair.
it basically just adds another level 1 creature to it. Let's see. Where did you want your house cats to be situated?
Two to the right at the moment.
Over here?
Yeah.
All right. And by the power of your rats, their mortal enemy is summoned. Like, how badass is that? That you, as a rat, can summon like your predator to combat. Like,
Yeah.
I made this cat my bitch, and now I can summon it into battle. Hell yeah.
And
There it is.
that's about it because it's 3 actions. I got 1 action to command it, of course. Yeah.
Yes, you can immediately let it have 2 actions, I believe, right?
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is it is just instantly going to gnaw at it with its claws.
Very well.
Which one?
I'm going to attack the one attacking Crowan first.
Okay. Yeah, the one that's been damaged the most.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and make your attacks.
Oh, the first one is going to be an 8.
That's not gonna be enough, I'm afraid.
Oh, the second one is going to be that's a 14 actually.
14. As it is flat-footed because he is dazzled, that does make it a hit.
Oh, cool. That's 1d4 slashing damage. Now I have to get my dice.
I'm just imagining the situation where it's fighting Crone and Crone is like fighting back, and suddenly Jack is like, cat! And the cat flies through the room, and starts clawing at this. And this guy's just like, what the fuck is going on? Why?
It's like throwing a cat to someone.
We
Can't
still
be
don't
very
know.
nasty, though.
We still don't know if Jack is an actual magician or just like has a bag of house pets.
Well,
Like,
in this
oh, I
case-
summoned cats. There we go, and rats and everything.
In this case, Jack is also like, well, I think the spell worked, but it could also just be a cat that lives here.
It could also just be a cat showing up. Yeah, indeed.
It's just 1 point of slashing damage. Yeah.
Ah, just the one? No
Just the
added
one.
things? Ah, too bad.
No.
But still,
All calls.
even the smallest amounts of damage seem to help, and we had a good laugh about it. I mean, isn't that
It's worth it.
the most important effect? All right. So, with that being said, we have the gecko scum who has been electrocuted a lot, who is going to try and just fight his way out of here. So he is still dazzled because he is dazzled for a minute. So he does need to make his flat 5 checks. So let's see if his jaws of his bite can do anything. Yep, a 5, 6, and an 11. So all 3 attacks can be made, and he is just going to snap in the general direction of you, Tarouche, as you have hurted enough already. So the first attack is going to be a 13. Second, with a -5, is going to be a 14.
Miss.
And the Hail Mary is going to be even lower than that.
Nice.
So this large gecko is just biting in your general direction, but your shimmering shield of arcane magic is boom, 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 bouncing off all of his attacks. None of them make it through. So that's not nice at all for him.
Excellent.
At which moment, we turn our attention to Crowan, who did get a nice jab at the face, but now has all the power in his own hands. What do you do?
I'm gonna sap the poor sap.
Oh.
Go! Yeah, basically I'm gonna do, well, see how many attacks it takes to put him down, and then we'll see what happens.
We will indeed.
17 on the first attack.
17 hits.
Okay, he's still flat-footed, right?
He's still flat-footed, yes.
So that's 8 damage.
8 points of damage. Still standing, however, after a good, like, he hit you on the cheek and on your chin, and you just returned the favor with, like, whack right across the jaw. And his eyes do blink, like, one after the other, which is really weird, but he's still standing.
He seems a bit groggy. Okay, let's go. 18 again to hit, so that hits, I
18
guess.
hits.
And then 11 damage.
And with that, the eyes bulge out one more time, and then the body goes limp on the floor. Did you want to deal non-lethal damage?
Yeah.
Alright. He is knocked out cold.
Then I have a nice little ability called You're Next. As my final action, because I put someone down to 0 HP, I get to try and intimidate someone.
Mm.
And I don't
Nice.
even need him to understand me because I have glaring defeat, intimidating glare. So I think I get a +1 to my intimidation check, and I try to intimidate the last gecko.
Very nice. As he is a gecko, however, he does not understand your language, So I believe that you are taking a -2 or -5. I don't know.
No, because I have intimidating glare.
Oh,
Because I
nice. You
can
have to
just look at them and I'm
There
very
you go.
scary.
There you go. You're basically doing like, and it's enough. Like the universal language of, oh man, I'm fucked.
I'm
All right,
also
so go
gonna,
ahead and make your intimidation check.
I'm gonna go so a small little scream from "Ha! You're next!"
And the gecko just goes. That didn't pick up, I think.
Go.
Gecko.
Okay. 17.
Against his will DC,
I don't know how. I think so. Will
Right?
DC? Yes.
Correct.
that's a success then. So you can see the gecko like swallow as he is frightened. Frightened
Nice.
1, I think.
Frightened one for one turn indeed. Yeah.
All right.
It's -1 on basically everything.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Nicely done, Crowan. As
Right.
at the top of the round, we take a look, but I don't think that the artifact has any other beautifulness in store for all y'all. So we quickly go on towards, well, the scum that is now knocked out. So we will delete him and go further onward towards Taru. Oh no, wait. Just one more thing. As here.
What's going on?
No, I'm just doing something else.
Oh, okay.
Reinforcements, guys.
Because now, once again, Jack, I mean, this is getting old, but now you can see another one of these scum creatures also coming from downstairs. Although this one does look a little bit different. And later on, you will all think back on how you didn't check the basement before you went upstairs. As this one seems to be wearing the same like scale mail armor, but this one has not one of those crossbows, but just like a vicious spear in its hand, a bident, if you will. It is nothing really more than a like a broom handle that eventually got affixed to it, like 2 rusty kitchen knives, but still. With the bulking muscles that are underneath him, he does seem to be a little bit more intimidating. And right now, he can only walk up all the way to you, Jack, and try to make an attack against you. So he's going to do just that.
How dare you?
Which is, goddammit, it's a natural 2 on the die. So with that, as this large scum comes bulking up the staircase, like with one hand, he also like tries to walk a little bit faster. He pushes his bident forward, but it just whiffs over your shoulder and hits like the chest that you see next to it. Like it gets stuck for a moment, and he pulls it back out again, tink, and now holds it with both hands. That's all that he can do. At which point we go towards Tarush.
All right. So the gecko is still like on the ceiling as it's trying to attack me. So in that case, and it's dazzled. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
So I just turn around the staff towards the spear end, and I just stab upwards at the gecko as I let go of my shield spell.
Very well.
So that would be a natural 18 plus 4 plus 4 is 22 against its flat-footed AC.
That's not going to be a critical hit, but still a very nice hit nonetheless.
That's fair. I think it's already close to like polymorphing back. That's kind of what I'm banking on here. So that would be 4 stabby damage.
All right, and with that, you stab him right in the gut, and as you retract your staff,
Yes.
it poofs back into its. I read chat, and indeed, back into its Murloc form. As it falls to the ground, it falls on the wooden table, which shatters under its weight, as the wood itself was also fairly badly maintained, and it is now prone on the ground.
Sweet. This is exactly what I was hoping for.
I'll say, go ahead and roll me a d4.
Me. Nice.
Yeah, you go ahead and make a roll
4.
me a d4. 4. Oh, damn. All right, so it gets 4 points of damage as it falls like on the shattered glass and just pierces his hide on multiple places, not giving him a good time whatsoever.
Keep dropping
Alright.
my dice.
Very nice. But but that was only one of your actions. You still have
Yeah.
two left.
I'm going for the combo. So after it fell down, I just slammed down my staff for another electric arc on the guy behind me and in front of me. So they
Very
both
well.
make a reflex save. A fishy.
The big guy does seem to make it this time, I think. With
Is he wet?
He is wet, so he does take a -1 to his save, but still with the -1, it comes to a 25.
I use an anti-luck on it.
No, that's my thing.
Oh,
I can
my
use
bad.
anti-luck.
Sorry.
Yeah.
In
sorry,
that case, yeah, it succeeds. Okay.
All right. And the other one, however, I don't think that it makes it with a 7.
That is a critical fail again. So that's
nice.
perfect. So big guy takes half damage, and that guy takes double damage.
Yeah, so the one lying in front of you, which makes sense, right? Like the one lying in front of you, like you basically just push the electrified energy right into his face.
Yes. And I, again, say a few draconic words as electricity flies around. This time I rolled a 1 on the die, though. So that would be 2 damage on the guy behind me and 10 damage on the guy in front of me.
Nice. As his body begins to jitter while lying on the ground, and now you can see that his movement also gets a little bit sluggish as the amount of damage that he's been taking is starting to take its toll. Alright. With all 3 actions spent, we go further onward to Jack.
Yes, so I all of a sudden have an adversary standing before me.
Yeah, and this one doesn't seem
I'm
to
not
be an
quite
illusion.
used to that. Illusion?
No,
do I
said
know
this
that?
one doesn't seem to be like an illusion
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
previous.
I figured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you could actually hear like the metal blades like into the wood. Like yeah.
Also, I think you might have forgotten the shield that you got on the previous attack.
But the attack missed.
The attack missed anyway, so.
Oh, my bad.
It was. Yeah.
No harm done yet.
Yeah, I just think as a sort of fearful emotion, I just instantly cast Ray of Frost on this enemy that comes up the stair. I have to make a spell attack roll for that. Oh, that's an 18.
18. Well, that's high. That's a big number.
Oh, in that case, that's an 18.
You sounded. Well, that hits. That hits.
Yeah, cool.
We're at level 1, people. Like we don't have to roll like 20s and 30s all the time just yet.
I would like to, though.
Something.
Understand.
Oh, that's 5 points of damage.
5 points of cold damage?
Yeah, I believe so. Let me have a quick look. Yeah. Yeah, I think 5 points of cold damage.
As you cast the Ray of Cold, you like push outward a beam of concentrated frost, and that itself like puts the creature out of view for a moment as it just blasted with like this concentrated blizzard. But what you can see out of the fog is just the Biden once more. Sink! Slashing it open, the cloud of mist dissipates and it is untouched as its fish-like scales seem to be resistant to cold damage.
Figures!
I'm sorry.
Damn. In that case, I do a quick, and I call my cat to help me. It's gonna take 1 action to move himself. 2.
The Meow Maker.
Let's.
Right.
I cannot move. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't. Let me just.
And I'm going to do some clawing attacks.
Right.
Or actually just 1. I have 1 attack left.
Yeah. 1 claws attack though. It's 1 attack with both claws. We'll say.
Yeah, it's like both claws going for a oof. That would be in total at 13.
13. 13 will not make it, however, as this one scum, like with his scale mail armor, he pushes himself forward a little bit, like pivots into the blow, and the cat-like paw just tick, 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 rattles across the scales. Like this one seems to have a little bit more ferociousness in its eyes as well, and seems to be a somewhat more skilled hunter than the other 2 that you found. Although it is keeping a close eye on all of you, this attack does not hit. That ends your turn, I believe.
Yeah.
as the electrified scum is now lying on the ground and is going to use one action to get up and this time around, however, he looks around, he looks over his shoulder at his companion that is fallen on the ground, and Crowan intimidating him. He is still frightened for now. Yeah, he's going to try and basically push through all of you, so he's going to make 2 attacks not against you, Tarush, but against little kitty cat. With a -1, however, because he is still frightened. And he is also still dazzled, so he also needs to make sure that he can even hit these attacks. So let's try that first. That's a 4 and an 8, so only 1 attack will be able to try and hit. Which is going to be a total of 15 to hit against your cat. What is the AC of your cat, Maxime?
I believe he also has a fierce attack left.
No, that one was spent already, I think. Or is there a new one?
The AC
No.
of my cat is 15.
Right.
15, alright, so that just hits. So he takes 7 points of piercing damage, as one of the claws of this scum does take a nice little hit at it.
You said 7 points?
7 points.
It's just standing. Yeah.
Alright, so for now, the summoned cat is still holding tight, but it seems that this scum doesn't like being here anymore. But that is all that he can do for now after standing up and trying out his claws. So we go towards Crowan.
Okay. Crowan is gonna go to the rescue of Jack because he seems in trouble. He's got 1, 2. Hope he doesn't provoke an attack opportunity. 3, 4. There. Nothing happens.
I will say, because let me excuse me. Let me just move all of you up for a moment to let you see what the scene is. You are trying to strike him from like the other side of the railing down the stairs. While the scum is still on the staircase, you are like looming over him. So this is going to be difficult to hit him. So he does have half cover of this. So he basically has an increased AC because of that.
But I do flank him, right?
I will say no, because he is like down there. So basically how this would work out is that, let me just get rid of this a little bit. Come on.
Okay, so still have 1, 2, 3.
Okay, this is the worst drawing of all time, but basically you are standing where the arrow is pointed. Let's see, do we have it like this? You're standing where the arrow is pointed, and you are like trying to hit downward.
Yeah.
Well, that guy is the one you're trying to hit, and that is where Jack is standing. So he can
Okay.
still like push down a little bit and get himself protected from all sides. Flanking is only if you can't focus on one side, because you have to protect yourself from both sides.
Yeah.
But there isn't a straight line through you, through the enemy, through the other one that
Okay.
you're fighting with.
Can I jump over the railing and try to bull rush the enemy to go to the back to the
Hell yeah, you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna bull rush him.
All right, so you jump over the railing. What do you
Yeah,
want to do?
and basically try to take his space, push him away.
Okay, so you were trying to push him away. Okay.
Yeah.
For the sake of this, go ahead and make 2 checks for me. First, go ahead and make an acrobatics check, and then make an athletics check.
Acrobatics is something like 19, I think. Let me check. Acrobatics. Dirty 20 on acrobatics, and the athletics is the
Right.
second one.
Acrobatics is a success. And
Yeah.
then now, so you quickly jump over the railing, just at the right angle for you to basically just try to Spartan kick him down the stairs. So let's see how that goes. There will be a athletics check of you against his athletic DC.
That's 26.
26? Damn, that's a nice roll. Vincent
Strong
is
my
on
ass!
fire. And yeah, his athletics DC is only 18, so with that, you almost try to also yell, "This is Sparta," while not really understanding what Sparta is, because it doesn't exist in this world. But you jump over the railing, and as one foot hits on the stairs, the other one perches itself on his chest, and you just push him away, and he tumbles down the stairs. Because of it, Very nice. So we will say that he is now all the way... Oh, not all three of you. He is now lying there on the other floor in the corner, while you can stand over him right over there. Nicely done.
Yeah, so I can. As my last action, I'm gonna try and hit him.
Oh, I will have to say, however, because you also jumped across the railing and you kicked him, I will have to make that 2 actions. For this
Okay, so
round.
yeah, so that
Yeah.
was my turn.
But it was good shit. I will,
Yeah.
however, also allow you to go ahead and roll me a d6 because he did take a tumble. So
Okay.
just roll me a d6 and that will be like the falling damage that he took.
6 damage.
6 points of damage.
Take
Nice.
Take that,
All right.
tough guy.
Hell yeah. With that being done, the artifact is still lying dormant, so we move our attention to the other piece of scum that is now lying before you, Crowan. So as it took a tumble, it begins to speak in some words that you don't quite understand in a gurgling language, and as a sort of like distracting move, he strikes once with his claw just to get you a little bit out of the way, making a little bit of room for himself so he can stand up. So he takes 1 action to stand up. And then with his other 2 actions, he just goes for 1 jab with his bident, and then he turns it around and just tries to slap you with it. So
That means
he goes ahead. The first attack is going to come in at a 22 to hit.
Yeah, it's gonna hit.
All right, and the second one with a -5 is going to be a 15 to hit.
That's not enough.
All right, so the first jab after he made like the feinting move does find purchase, and it pierces your armor just a little bit. There we go. For another 7 points of damage. No, sorry, 8 points of damage for this guy.
I'm still standing.
All right. And after he takes his bident back, he just... And after feeling like the pain from the stab and the adrenaline coursing through your veins, your senses are a little bit heightened, and you can duck just right out of the way as the bident almost decapitates you, but barely doesn't. That's all that he can do, though, still backed into a corner, as we turn our attention to Tarouche.
Oof. So I hear a lot of screaming and pain downstairs. Could you restart the music again? I'm sorry, the Roll20 is just being a bit of a...
Yeah, it does that sometimes. No worries.
And I hear Crowan, I assume, screaming in agony or pain, or... Is there something going on, Crowan?
I'm not doing too good.
Okay, yeah, thanks. And with that, Tarouche turns around and kind of does this clumsy, not quite leap over the railing past Jack, as he says, take care of that one, and walks down to behind Crowan.
All right, right over
there. I use a free action to grab a spell from my staff. I can use that for each spell level once a day. So I get my color spray back, because apparently we really need to do something about this guy. I hold my staff over Crowan's shoulder. I say, duck! And I color spray him in the face. Like, there's just colors and sparks and everything everywhere. Give me a will save.
And that is going to be a... 16.
Ah, nice. Fail. That's perfect. DC is 17.
Nice.
So that gives us... Oh, and the cameras have stopped, but we'll get to that. That gives us a whopping... stunned 1, blinded 1, and dazzled for 1 minute.
Nice. As this creature was just piercing your friend, and now coming tumbling over the railing behind him, you shoulder mount your staff on him and just blast this creature entirely into his face as the color spray hits him square in the jaw and just...
Nice. Perfect.
Not having a good time.
And cameras are back.
Yee!
All
I
right.
can move again.
That was my turn.
Nicely done. Jack, back to you.
Yes.
There's still
So-
this one scum dazzled in front of you, and the
I
big
bet
one.
some fire would work. No, no.
Ooh.
I'm not gonna
Explode everything!
work with fire. However, I am going to try to very delicately throw acid at his face.
Very
Something
well.
along those lines. So I use acid splash.
Mhm.
Two actions. Let me have a quick look. Oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. So the acid splash is just spell attack.
Mhm.
Ooh, that will be a 31.
31.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a critical hit.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I read the wrong one. I'm really sorry. 21.
21. Okay, that's a
I used
normal
my
hit.
spell
That's a
DC
normal
again. Yeah. I figured, well, that is quite high, and then I was like,
Yeah, that
that's
makes it a
bit
lot
too
easier,
high.
huh?
Yeah. 21.
21. Yeah, that's a normal hit. That's a normal hit.
Cool. That would be a D6. Let me quickly grab my D6. Ah, sad. That will be 1 point of acid damage plus 1 point of splash acid damage.
All right, so 2
Yeah.
points total.
2 points. Yeah. There's no persistent acid damage.
Okay, so he doesn't begin to melt away. So even in this current state, oh no, wait, he was. 21. No, okay, sorry. Mind fart for a moment. So the globule of acid does take a nice little splash at it, but it seems that while this scum was already covered, like in the water of the sewage system from whence it came, it also helps with washing away the acid a little bit. So it doesn't do a lot of damage, but still, a chunk is being done, and you can see that he is on his very last legs at this moment. Those were 2 of your actions, however. Still have 1
in
left.
that case, maybe my cat can help. So I send my cat to him again. And I send my cat to
Yeah.
this last scum. And I make it claw at the scum again.
Very well.
Oh, that might be actually quite okay as well. Let me have a quick look. That will be a 19 to hit.
19 hits, yeah.
Cool. And 4 points of slashing damage.
4 points of slashing damage. And together with the acid that the scum is trying to rinse off his body, as your cat, like, does the thing that cats do where it wiggles its little butt a little bit and then just pounces on him with one last slash from the nails of this cat. The throat of this fish person is being raked open, and after a last guttural, it falls onto the broken, ruined table and bottles, dead.
Good kitty.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yes.
Very well
Alright,
done.
so with the second scum also being destroyed, we turn our attention to Crowan.
Oh, let me turn the battle map a bit up. There we go.
Not having too good of a time, you are taking these beatings as a pro, though. What would you like to do?
I'm taking it like a man.
Yeah, what happens if the rogue is the only melee fighter? Like, hey, I'm supposed to be a DPS, not a tank.
Yeah, I think maybe the rogue should take some fighter levels.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm just gonna hit him 3 times, I guess, because he's blinded. So yeah,
What?
I don't think he can see me glare at him, so I'm not gonna try and intimidate it. That makes no sense.
I will,
So,
however, use one of my anti-lucks on your first attack.
Oh god damn it, man!
Ooh. Daring. I say.
This guy is having a rough time, but let's see if we can make it a little bit easier on him.
He is
That becomes an 11.
All right, so with the 11, even in his blinded state, you can see that while you are trying to attack him, he perches his ear holes a little bit, and he can hear like his companion falling upstairs. And as you try to bring down the sap the first time, he just gets his bite up and blocks it in midair. And while he can't really see you because he's still blinded, you do, however, see that he perches his eyes to meet yours and just gives this guttural screech.
I have another hero point, I believe, so I think my second attack I'm gonna re-roll that. Thanks, Crystal, for the hero point.
I
And
think you subside for the anti-luck.
yeah, and does 15 hit?
15 at this point, because he is flat-footed, does indeed hit.
Nice. So that's 2d6s. That's 12 damage.
12 points of damage.
Yeah.
And this time, however, after he pushes back your sap, he still tries to defend himself a little bit, but this time you kind of find the nice opening in between like his two arms and just whack him across the face. Again, however, his head perches up again in defiance.
I'm
then
gonna
you
try
still
the
have your
last
last
attack.
action.
It's gonna be on the -8.
Mm-hmm.
So -1 in total. Again, I know, 17 in total.
17 hits.
Hey,
Go ahead
yeah!
and make another. Yeah.
Go cautious, you bastard. 15 damage.
15 points of damage. Jesus.
That's what snack attack does to ya.
Yeah, you know how to wield that sap. Oh my god.
Bam!
He's still standing though with whack,
Oh,
whack,
god damn
whack.
it.
You have dealt a hefty bunch of damage against this creature, and now you can also see with the last attack that you also dislocate his shoulder, as the last line of defense also seems to fall a little bit in his gait. However, he is still standing, and now he's just looking around himself. However, as this is going on, Crowan, you feel yourself invigorated, but this small, fist-sized green D20, this icosahedron, also seems to be firing up once again. So, Charlie, let's go ahead and have ourselves another wild magic surge.
Go!
All right, let's see what happens.
Let's go, bruh.
No,
What is it? Is the 4?
no, it's 3 again. I swear
it
to
3
God.
again?
I swear to
Can
God.
you roll
I-
another dice?
Shall I re-roll that? Like, do we want to polymorph again?
Okay.
Well,
What is the chat one?
The chat can decide. The chat can decide. We will not decide these sorts of things.
We do not hold power in this
Yeah,
court.
there should be one good surge. Yeah.
Well, Crystal, you're also a PAG member, so I feel like you're
Crystal's
also a
opinion
little
does
bit.
not count.
Yeah.
Well,
Savage Combat Source, however, also says reroll.
I would like to believe
The
that.
reroll. Yeah.
that's
Oh,
2
everyone-
vote.
Yeah.
That's like roughly 10% of our viewers. So
no, I can already see 5.
Oh,
votes
there
for
we go.
Ah,
Eh,
Crystal, you paid. It's illegal for you to pay.
I believe that Crystal gets polymorphed.
Your
That
points are of no
Olan is
value
just
here.
reading a book and all of the sudden turns into a T-Rex.
It's
Crystal,
a 5
you're a
this
T-Rex
time.
now.
And then she can't hold the book anymore because her arms are too short.
All right, so 5. Ooh, make haste. All right, so let's see. Roll another die for me. Even is all of you are hasted.
Odd.
Odd is odd. All right, so our scum is hasted as
Oof.
like a ploy of mischievous fate. A small bead of energy leaves your side, Crowan, and enters the body of the scum, making it hasted, giving it another action, which it'll gladly accept, I think.
It was stunned anyway, so who cares? He just has no more actions now.
No, stunned is 1 action less, so
yeah.
now it has 3 net.
Yeah,
Now
so-
it just
yeah,
has its normal 3 actions.
That's what I meant.
Fair.
So with that, as the energy invigorates him and basically just dissipates the stunned condition, the scum looks at your eyes, Crowan, now that the blindness subsides and you can see this feral hunter just gazing back at you, and he says, like in broken common, "You try. Kill." And it turns away from you, and it just begins to dart away. So it'll take 1 action to leave all the way on the other side and head down the stairs, and after that,
I mean,
you won't be
can
able to see
I?
him.
It is blinded though.
It's no longer blinded because the 1 turn of blindness subsided already, right?
Oh
He didn't take his
Yeah,
turn
now
as
it's
blind.
just dazzled. Now it's just dazzled.
no,
Right.
it's still blinded because I used blind, and now it's the first turn. It has
Oh,
after
excuse me.
being blinded.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, it fumbles and stumbles down the staircase, like,
I accept.
but it still tries to basically dash out of here. All right, so for the sake of this, because we are basically exiting the initiative order, and chase scenes, if you want to do that, really don't work in the initiative order. What would you guys like to do now that you see this scum just utter a couple of words of defiance and then try to bolt?
I want to catch her, definitely.
Well, we can, for the sake of this, I think it would be easier to still keep the initiative order in the order of what all of you would like to do, but we can't really like use the battle map to walk and such. So
Yeah,
Tarush,
sure.
you are up first. What do? You just see this scum rush down the stairs.
Gosh. I'm thinking real hard on what to do. I don't really have a ton of options for chasing at this point. So, well, he's still gonna try. Let's see what happens. So Tarush just follows it, but I have a speed of 4, so it's not really I think.
Yeah. So, all right. So you just dart down after him.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just try and run after him. I have 60 feet of speed to use, and I'm gonna try. Well, I prefer to get him within like 20-ish feet distance.
Yeah. So what you can see, as you run down the stairs, eventually you find yourself on the ground floor again. At the moment, you can just see him dart back into the basement.
All right.
That's it. And so you can basically just see him dart into the basement, but that is all where you can go for now. While you are just running downstairs following this guy, Jack, what do you do?
So can I still cast Tanglefoot on this individual, or is it just gone without outside
right
of
now-
my?
You need line of
Yeah,
sight
right.
for that.
Right now,
Yeah,
he's darted out of the way. You tried to already begin the incantation, but you keep yourself because he's already out of sight and you can't follow him.
Yeah,
Oh, well, you
I
can follow
can
him,
feel
yeah.
in my incantation that it just doesn't hold up. Can I let me have a quick look. I think I have to go after it as well, but I'm not that quick. But I have to try at least.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
as you begin your incantation and you see the scum run away around the corner, you see Tarush follow, and you follow as well, following Tarush. Everybody's following everybody. And you also eventually on the staircase see the same thing happen as this guy darts into the basement. And then the same question for you, Crowan. What do you do?
Slightly faster than Tarush, but I don't suppose I can do something with an athletics check to try to get more speed or something, right?
For the sake of this, there would be a little bit of cheating. So,
Yeah.
do you have more movement speed than Tarush and Jack?
Not Jack, but I think Tarush. I do have more movement.
well-
I have just my full movement speed, 30 feet, and Tarush is slightly slowed by his armor.
And technically, all of you are in like one line with you up front, so it would make sense that if all of you decide to just run forward, that you would still be in front.
Yeah.
Rowan.
You're-
So for the sake of that, you will indeed like. So basically, all three of you took the same action, just running after this guy with the information that you had. So as a group, all three of you are following suit.
Yeah.
Right. So now that you are confronted with the basement, a little piece of unknown information, is there anything else that you would like to change on your plans, or all of you just following still?
Oh, human has base feet of 25. Oh, okay. So I was wrong in
But yeah, no, I say we just run after him and
yeah, basically.
see
Alright.
if the
And then-
basement has some kind of.
Oh, however, excuse me, I missed this just now, but Jack, you have haste. Because Crystal did give you a nice chunk of extra movement. So if you would like, you could. I'll basically give you a free movement action for the sake of this. So is there anything what you would like to do with your extra movement that has been given to you?
Well, I think I would just chase it further down the basement. I believe.
All right. So in that
Yeah.
case, it seems that with a little bit of magical power from the artifact, Jack is now leading this assault. And as all three of you are running down this staircase, let me just put you there. Wait, let me just do it like this. There we go. You can see that in the basement. Just open up this last little piece of map. You can see that the one scum still trying to escape is now at the far side of this building where a couple of latrines are situated. And you can see that one of the latrines was completely broken open, like the wooden seating has completely been destroyed. And right now, the scum is trying to enter the latrine, although it still has a bag with it. The other two also had like these bags with them that they probably used to gather some things. And it seems that this one also has said bag with him, and he tries to pull it with him down the latrine, but it just doesn't really seem to fit all that easy, so he's having a little bit of trouble with that. As this is made known to you, how do you guys act?
So we're downstairs. Jack is up front.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, Crowan and I are not quite yet there.
Yeah, no, so Jack just had a little bit of movement to get all the way down, and I will say with the extra movement, you eventually find yourselves like in a row with Jack up front, Crowan, and then Tarouche, just trying to get down the staircase as you find this last scum just trying to pull his loot with him down the latrine.
I'd say Jack goes first, or are we back in initiative, or...
Tanglefoot.
Yeah.
I cast Tanglefoot. I try to
All right.
hold the creature in place.
Okay, so the creature is now almost completely down the latrine already, so he will have 3/4 cover, which is a +5 to AC.
But
Can I also cast Tanglefoot on the bag that it's trying to take?
Sure thing. You can try to keep the loot. Like I think that is one of the big choices here. Like, do you want to catch the guy or do you want to catch the bag that he has with him?
In this case, I think that the catching the loot is more feasible.
Very well.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll an attack roll for me then. As
is it more feasible, or are we just being greedy here? Because I am just being greedy here.
it's also more feasibleable because latrine.
I am just screwing up because I rolled a 7.
7.
No.
I'm afraid that even for a bag being kept by a scum, that doesn't really quite make it. As you come jumping down the stairs, you're just a little bit overzealous with your casting, and you sidearm the Tanglefoot bag, but it just splatters against the wall. As Jack pushes himself against the wall, or basically just falls against the wall from the staircase, Crowan, what do you do?
Can I reach him with my sap of doom?
With your Sap of Doom?
Yeah.
I mean, you can certainly try.
Okay. Basically, I go up to him with the 75 feet I have and try and hit him.
All right. As you see Crowan running up with a sap, Tarouche, what do you do?
Tarouche stands there. Wait, so let me check what the range in my electric arc would actually be. 30 feet. So I think maybe I could... Well, do I have line of sight if I go down the stairs? 4 squares?
Same thing for you. So because he has 3/4 cover, he will have a +5 on his reflex save.
But he's wet, so he would have a +4 in total.
Yeah, but also I don't know if I can like bring him down. How much damage did we do? Not a lot.
Yeah, kind of a lot.
Crowan did a lot of damage against him.
Really? Oh, my bad. In that case, yeah, why not give it a go? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I would end up here. And I will just try. Because
Okay.
Tarouche, honest to the gods, refuses to go any closer to the latrines.
Nice. All right, so it seems that the gods are with me at least a little bit this day, because that is a natural 18 on his reflex save, that it becomes a 29 in total.
Yeah, that's a critical success even. So I do nothing as the as we smell a lot of burning feces, actually.
Like the smell of burning ozone with burning feces is an assault on all of your senses.
So Tarush just zaps in there. There's this little explosion, and he just goes, "Oh,
You
I'm
know,
out! I'm out!"
you know what the worst part is? Because you had to vocalize all of your incantations, you don't only smell it, you can taste a little bit as well.
And I'm done for today.
Can I attempt my attack then, or?
Yeah, Crowan, you run up, and as you come towards this guy, you try to smack him, and he just glares up at you and lets go of the sack, and you can hear a little bit down in the distance just as he falls in the sewage system of Farwater, and you are left by yourselves in this house.
Can I switch to my crossbow and shoot in the dark?
You could switch to your crossbow and shoot in the dark, but you can already hear, like, because he fell down, there is flowing water down there, so and then a little bit further on he comes to.
Bastard.
However, all of you heave, ho, Crowan. The adrenaline begins to leave your body a little bit, and you can now feel the wounds that you have sustained by these creatures. The arrow point or the harpoon point actually is still in your shoulder, and you pull it out, and you can see that this is this gnarly piece of bone being cut in a way that it is like this whatchamacallit, this back hook on it. But it seems that you are victorious.
I'm gonna quickly go up and medical the one I'm knocked unconscious. That seems like a good plan.
Right, so, yeah, for the sake of this, let's leave the battle map for what it was.
Yeah.
And Crowan, with the last few hit points that you have, you stumble up one hit point. Nice. You stumble back up, get your manacles out, and while the last scum that is alive is still unconscious, you shackle him, making sure that once it comes to, it won't be leaving you anytime soon.
And there's a ghost sound
There's a ghost sound.
of a sad trombone.
I mean, with that ghost sound, there might be a little bit of missed opportunities here, but still, you guys are victorious. Nobody died, went down.
We
Although it does
survived.
seem that this one scum might remember all of you.
Nice. I mean, I hope we left an impression.
I mean,
yeah,
I
I
think-
think
I think Crowan Sap left quite an impression, or 4, on his temple.
Nice.
And
Like, I will say this thing as a little bit of metagaming. The next time you see this guy, he will have a fucked up eye because of it.
Oh,
then we definitely
Or-
know it was the same scum.
Yeah, that's
It's like
that's the
it's
thing.
you.
That's the thing I really like to do, to have like recurring villains, or well,
yeah.
Let's
He just
see-
gained
let's
a
see-
level from surviving. Oh,
all right.
nice. Yeah, I say we get looting the place, and we'll figure out the details of that.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I say we start to investigate a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do try if there's magic items. I'm not gonna go there yet because I don't want to be affected by a magical cursed item or something. So I'm just gonna investigate on the papers first.
Very well. So for the sake of this, for a little bit of expediency, I would like all 3 of you to go ahead and make me a perception check, please.
14 for me.
14,
11.
11.
Yeah. I use a hero point. I rolled a 2.
Very well.
And I upgraded to a 16, so 20 total.
20 total. Nice. All right. So multiple successes on your part. So as you begin to rummage through this apartment, you begin to realize indeed that there were a lot of squatters in this one house. You find out that they actually had a name for their bachelor pad, Bards to Be, because on the street that they were situated, it was actually apartment 2. So with all that said, Bards to Be was the name they gave their establishment as they tried to make it big in the big city. And
That's
at least one
beautiful.
of them And at least one of them, Nissa No Name, didn't get that chance because eventually she got felled by the ringing. You do, however, figure out that most of these papers that you find here are all different kinds of music, poetry, and other performance pieces that these people that lived here had been writing together. And they also had a little bit of magical knowledge between all of them, because you do find a couple of nice added bonuses to your repertoire. You find two scrolls that have been finished, one of Haunting Hymn and one of Gale Blast, which are bard spells that can be used in different offensive ways. You also find that they had a couple of potions and elixirs that might help them along their way. A Silver Tongue mutagen that could actually improve their performance. Nectar of Purification can be used to purify food and drink, because as you saw, this place is a little bit in disrepair, and that sort of stuff might have come in handy to keep themselves alive. Next to that, an antidote and an elixir of life for when one of them could be, felled by some disease or other ailment, although it didn't seem to do the trick against the ringing. You do, however, find in the bags of loot that these scum took with them that a lot of writing from Nissa had been taken along with them. Beginning to think about how it was that certain, leads couldn't be followed by the local guardsmen, and how the local guardsmen didn't really find any traces of what actually made this disease. Seeing these scum trying to take what seemed to be evidence of what had happened might be a nice little clue for all of you.
Nice.
But as you begin to rummage through her writings, you see a lot of the same things in her journals and in writing that you also saw in the notes of the jailer when all of this began. Speaking of a ringing in the ear that eventually turned into understanding of magics, and it seemed that Nissa was the actual person that transcribed these two scrolls for her and the rest of her troop, so to speak. However, there is one other thing that you also find in her notes, and that is that Nissa is speaking of another bard, a bard that, teached her some, not so private lessons. A person by the name of Yenny Carpenter, another bard here in Farwater, that just walked around and did a lot of performances, but also brought new compositions to Nissa. Which is a little bit odd, because the time that the ringing starts seems to coincide with when she met Yenny. And as all of you gather these things, you also begin to hear that from outside on the street, a small amount of commotion is being had, as people are whispering amongst each other. Eventually someone shouts out, "Is anybody in there?" And all of you quickly grab all of these belongings with yourself, and then need to figure out how the hell you are going to leave this place. And that's where we'll end today's session.
Ooh.
Oh, I already have a few fun ideas.
Oh, I have a pretty good idea as well.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Mine involves throwing a corpse out of a window.
Mine involves the corpse doing it itself.
Well, you could also just follow the scum back into the sewer system, I guess. But you also still have a captive within your midst.
Oh god.
So that is going to be a little bit larger. So I'm afraid that we will cut the stream short a couple of minutes this time.
Oh, I'm just imagining them busting in, and they find, like, I think it would be either Crowan or Tarush because of their breastplate, kind of just halfway stuck in the latrine, like,
shit.
So
yeah.
Yeah, something along those lines. Oh yeah, I still have one feeding too, so I have to grab my cookies because people on stream can not see it, but you guys can. My cookies are right there.
So yeah, that'll be it for us today. I also wanted to cut the stream short here because I would love to have Olam and Edge also join into this fun of getting these people out of trouble the next time. So yeah, it seems that the plot thickens and many different strands are being found. Our party members might be eluded a little bit, but who knows? They might find the cause of all of this mischief and disease before long.
Yeah, I'd say
For now-
we got a lot
Oh, yeah.
further than I expected in such a short amount of time, investigation-wise.
I mean, I like to keep the plot running along. Don't you worry, there's a lot more to want to cover.
No,
For now,
no. I don't like that. It's our fault. We did this, Wouter. It's not...
Right, yes, you did all of this. You did all-
Yeah.
For now, though, we must take our leave. Another week awaits us where we have to turn back to the real world. So for now,
Oh, that's also
we
a
love
thing,
you.
yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, we have social media and also a Discord if you're not already a part of that. So join us there and talk about stupid shit. And otherwise, we hope to see you here next week, where we continue this plot, hopefully with Crystal and Ave at the table as Olam and Edge once again. So for now, enjoy the last hour of your weekend. Good luck this week. We love you, and hope to see you again.
Bye!
Ciao, bye.